What's up, guys? Sean here from Srkcycles.com. We have a 2002 Harley-Davidson Fat Boy that we're going to test drive. It is a beautiful bike, and if you guys want to learn more about the Fat Boy, we did a really extensive video on it called Harley-Davidson Fat Boy and everything about it. We'll have a link in the description or somewhere. The Fat Boy is a very iconic bike, and it's a very transformable bike. It can be a bike where you hop on, you ride it solo all the time. You hop on the bike and you're kind of, bar hopper, which I don't recommend. But cruising the back roads. Or I know a lot of people that ride these things, double, them and their wife. They got a backrest on here, they got saddlebags, and this is the bike that they take all over the country. Now, the Fat Boy is, of course, part of the Softail family, which means the rear suspension, the rear shock is underneath the seat, and you can't actually see it. You can see it flex. You know, the Fat Boy, when it's got the solid wheels or little tiny holes in the wheels. Now, some people complain about, they say it's because of the solid wheels, the bike gets pushed around in the high wind. Only girls are complaining about that. Real men don't actually complain about that. I've never actually noticed it. This particular Fat Boy is rocking the T-bars, which is a great feel. So instead of having like mini apes, you got the T-bars, and they're super solid, no flex in them, nice and thick. When they start getting bigger, I'm not sure if I really like the look, but I think this looks really good. This also has the modified, upgraded, I don't think these are the Harley brand Daymakers, but these are modified, upgraded Daymaker style headlights, and they look really awesome. They even have the little halo angel rings around it. Since this is an 02, this is rocking the 88 cubic inch sequential port fuel injection motor. So it is fuel injected. The sequential port fuel injection does need to be tuned every once in a while, maybe every, 4 or 5 years. I've only ever tuned one once. Most of the time they just run really good. The 88 is the first year of the twin cam, and it's also known for doing a lot of miles. My last Road King had the 88 twin cam, and I sold it at 117,000 miles, still running perfectly. Now the main weakness in the twin cam 88 cubic inch motor was the cam chain tensioner. Now, most cam chain tensioners on these older bikes have been replaced by now, but if you do buy one, it is good to just check it out, see if it has been replaced. And normally they went bad around 30 to 35,000 miles. So if you have one with significantly more miles than that, it's probably been replaced. And it's not even that expensive thing to get done. It's just good to get done. Now, if you look on the back at the back tire, this has the 150 back tire. Eventually, they went to a bigger back tire on the Fat Boys. A lot of people actually like the older ones better because the smaller back tire had a better profile that was better for handling and cornering. So I'm 6'2", and you can see that the Fat Boy fits me very well. This is the same bike that Arnold Schwarzenegger rode. What's he, like 6'3"? He's pretty tall. Maybe 6'3", 6'4". He looks pretty good. I've never heard too many people complain about being too tall for the Fat Boy. Very comfortable. The ergonomics are very similar to like if you were riding a like Ultra Classic or one of their touring bikes. Knees are pretty straight down, back straight. Pretty comfortable bike. So the Fat Boy is a great bike for a lot of people because it is heavier. It might not be the best bike for an entry-level rider unless you are a grown man and the weight doesn't really affect you very much. It's not the lightest bike, but it's not the heaviest bike. But it is one of those bikes that you can buy and you just it could be your last bike you ever own. A lot of fun. Let's take it for a spin. All right, guys, let's do the test drive. But first, do the words of wisdom. Colossians 3:17, whatever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, giving thanks through him to God the Father. Amen. Let me put on my gloves. All right, 2002 Fat Boy. This has a really light clutch. It just feels perfect. I mean, sometimes you ride a bike and you're like, why is the clutch so heavy? And they put these giant, super heavy duty like clutch springs in it, which is, I mean, might be necessary for like a 200 horsepower like drag bike. But on a normal Harley Davidson, it's pushing out maybe like 70 horsepower and a little bit more torque maybe. It's just unnecessary. It's way more. It's overkill, and it kind of makes the ride suck. But this just feels perfect. I love these T-bars. I don't know why they're painted brown. I think chrome would make more sense. Black would make more sense. Brown is a little funny, but whatever. I like this motor, and I don't care that it's only a 5-speed. The way it's geared, so it's not about who has more speeds. It's how the top speed is geared, and the top speed is geared to do well over highway speeds. So it's never been an issue for me. I've owned multiple, you know, Harley Davidsons with the 5-speed transmission, and you know, cruising on the highway is fine. I love the Fat Boy. If you're putting together your own little motorcycle collection, when I say collection, I mean just, you know, more than a couple bikes, and you're looking for that other bike to fit your need, you know, the bigger the bike, the heavier the bike, the more stress it is to pull it out. Case in point, I was riding around the Trail 90 yesterday, and it was awesome. I just whipped that bike around. I literally picked it up and put it in my van and took it out of my van. It's a fun bike, and you're never gonna drop it, or you could drop it, but whatever. So the lighter the bike is, the less stress it is to ride. And let's say you have an Ultra Classic. It's not unusual for you to be like, I want a Fat Boy. I want a Fat Boy, or I want a Softail, or a Dyna, or something like that. Just to kind of accompany, you know, keep that Ultra Classic, you know, give it some company when it's sitting in the garage when I'm not riding it. But there's some times where you're like, I don't want to ride the Ultra. I want to hop on my Fat Boy, and I just want to like kind of shred around and just do a little more sporty stuff, and you know, race from light to light. And when I say race from light to light, I mean on a closed course track. Sometimes you don't want to be bothered with with the music and the fairing, and you want that wind just hitting you on your chest, because that's what grows hair on your chest. All right, let's get this thing up to the speed limit. Let's do it. There we go, speed limit. Speed limit reached. The bike pulls well. It's not the fastest thing, it's not the slowest thing. I mean, of course it's not the slowest thing I've ever ridden, but it's a great fun bike. It's not pulling your arms off when you ride. It is iconic. Everyone's gonna know you're riding a Harley. Everyone's gonna know it's a Fat Boy. And honestly, there's just a special place in the heart of America about the Fat Boy. And like I said before, if you have not seen the "and everything about it" video about the Fat Boy that I made, it's a really interesting story, somewhat controversial, about the styling of this bike. And read the comments. There's some pretty cool comments in there too. I remember the first time riding one of these, I thought this was like, man, this is such a big bike, and then you get used to riding big bikes, and I honk my own horn. And I just think it's a good size. It's a good sized bike, probably equivalent to like a VTX 1300. A little bit heavier. But such a blast to drive. You really cannot go wrong buying one of these bikes. It's crazy. There's some times that we have no Fat Boys. You look at our inventory for months, we don't have a single Fat Boy. Right now, I think we have 7 of them. So we got the lot to choose from. A beautiful day outside. I love riding in the springtime. And at 20,000 miles, is a pretty low mileage bike. Front brakes feel good, back brakes feel awesome. Let's get the speed again. It's nothing but smiles when you roll on the throttle. It's also not you're not gonna get yourself in that much trouble with a bike like this. I mean, you can get yourself in any trouble with anything, but It's not so powerful like a sport bike where you're cruising and it feels like 60 and you look down and you're doing 130. It's not going to happen, but it definitely has plenty of power to keep you moving with a passenger, with luggage, with a windshield, and all that stuff to keep you moving and keeping up with everyone, or speeding, you know, on the highway if you're going on a big trip. It's such a comfortable bike. It's a windy day. Today's a pretty windy day. I don't notice anything. I don't notice any wind. I actually made a video where I took a fat boy out on an extremely windy day, like blowing you away. And I didn't notice any difference. I don't know what people were talking about. Maybe one of these days we'll do a test video. What's funny is I always hear about people who are like, I was driving a car behind a guy riding a fat boy, and it was super windy. He was on a bridge. He was getting blown over all over the place. I was like, well, what did the other motorcycles look like? And he's like, well, I didn't see any other motorcycles out there. It's a fact that you get blown over a little bit. You get pushed around. A big truck comes and hits you, and you go, it kind of blows you over. I don't think it's just a fat boy. I actually think it's not. I think it's all motorcycles, and I don't think the wheels is making that much of a difference. Man, I love the way this thing feels. Alright guys, that wraps it up. Do not forget to subscribe. We appreciate you guys watching all of our videos. We have 2 new channels. We have not 2 new, one's new. We have the Bikes and Beards channel. You guys have probably seen that one. We also have the other channel, which is the Bikes and Beards Clips channel. That's brand new. Go over there and subscribe to it. We're gonna start pumping out videos on it soon. And also, if you're interested in these M1 Moto gloves, click on the link below. BikesandBeardsGear.com is where you can buy them. We will see you guys later. And as always, it's not what you're riding, but where you're going.